Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want, and other times the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. And the Bears are going to take possession of the football.
A tough adjustment to the NFL throughout his rookie season, and his problem with turnovers is only exacerbated by his early showing today. That's a couple for him here in this first half, and he's cleared the double-digit mark for the entire season.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
And this is going to be intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it. And the Seahawks are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down at the 18. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
And that's about the easiest decline call you'll ever have right there.
Well, it leads me to one of my pet peeves, and maybe peeves is too strong of a word, but if you're going to jump off sides, finish the play. Make sure the play ends. Don't jump off sides and stop, because you see the net result here. If you go ahead and finish the play, you don't give up that type of yardage.
And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. The Seahawks at 3-5, 2 games under 500, and they come in off the extended break from the bye.
And I think it was much needed as well, because you play 2.5 months. You know you're ready for some time off in order to get prepared for the home stretch. In fact, when they looked at the schedule to start.
And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. And the Bears are going to have it here just past the 25. So his struggle is just continuing here in the first half, throwing the football. Charles, now 3 interceptions.
And they don't feel like they're just great plays by the defense. There's a sense that maybe he's a little careless with the football now. So some of the great coaches in the past, you know, they've always said, I can't teach you, obviously, because you're not listening. So maybe the bench can teach you. He's got to be careful now. He might get pulled.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A big play that time on the catch and run. And it'll move the chains. Now a first down carry by Jones. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Fields now to throw. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Perfect example of the kind of attitude you have to play defensive back in the NFL. You want to be the only defender around, and you want them to challenge you. And on that play, he came through.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Fields. That would almost intercept it, but it's incomplete. Not a good throw there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw is probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Fields throw there taken in by Smith. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 24-yard line. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. Throwing again is Fields. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Oh, and fine work there as he gets this thing down to the 11-yard line. A really nice effort that time. 12 yards on the keeper, picking up the 1st. Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh, my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21.
That call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Fields. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Multiple players combined for their team's 1st sack of the game. And Fields is off, and on comes Cairo Santos for the Chicago field goal. Santos' kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. 3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
Well, since you took me to the nautical side, I'm going to try and keep up here because, to me, this ship is about ready to pull out of port. These next couple of games are absolute must-wins for them. Now, if they can win a couple, get to 5-5, maybe they start believing in themselves. But a loss here, that would move them to 3-6. And if that's the case, well, that boat is going to head out to the harbor with them still on the dock.
Tackle made there by Jordan Poyer.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
On second down, it's Walker. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 82 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage, but every one of these RPOs...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. I don't care if you're taking it in round one, you're undrafted, whatever. As a rookie quarterback in this league, you're going to have games where you face adversity like this.
Lessons. All the time you're going to face these lessons. The key for this guy is, will he be able to bounce back in the next one? Because right now, this has not been his game.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Up the middle. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And fortunately for him, he's able to get it back, but it will be a loss on the play.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it. And somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return, and the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now it's Fields. He gets this to Jones over the middle. And that's good for a gain of 6. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now. And he went in route there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well-run route.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Returnable for Lockett. So they'll accept that penalty, and that'll, of course, move the football up the field. A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Jalen Johnson. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown.
Coaches preach all the time about opportunities and taking advantage of them, and he did exactly that. I used to have a coach told us all the time, a lost opportunity is never regained. Well, no regrets here. He picked that one off and took it to the house.
Santos with the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot. Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Now the Bears will use their third and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. They'll try and run right on the option. Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And this will be a Seahawks first down as he'll take this up to the 38-yard line. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. Taking it about the 1. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. He's at the 40. 20. 10. 5. He will score. Touchdown, Bears. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him. Kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Third quarter begins with a run by Walker. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Brian Burns, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. He goes 57 yards on the punt return. And the Bears are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Santos able to tack on the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Brian Burns picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. It's caught. Lockett. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously, for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard.
Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack.
Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now. And if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down.
From the gun, it's Walker.
And he'll get 2, maybe 3, up near the 37.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Now back to throw. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. Brian Burns getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And taken right on the 30. It'll be a 40-yard punt, 8 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they get the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Here's Fields.
He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Now Fields.
Throw left side, complete to Harry.
And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. Well, up big, but still not hesitating to take some shots downfield, CD. I guess they really want to hammer home their dominance in this one.
Yeah, that much is apparent, partner. If they keep completing throws like that, they'll keep that gap awfully wide as they've established already.
first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying.
Touchdown! Herb Smith Jr., 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Bears are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter. Santos with the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
113 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position.
Fields tapping it forward, jet sweep.
He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
Jamal Adams hit on the tackle. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 on the Seahawks' 25-yard line.
Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. A few things better than a big man interception. You can always tell right when they get the football, there's that level of excitement and nervousness, and also like, what the heck do I do with this thing?
And you say, no better sight? Well, not for the quarterback who just threw it. It's bad enough to throw a pick, but to throw one to the big guy? But you're right about that. Now what do I do with it? But what's fun about it is, you know they're going to be in the film room after this ball game, telling all their teammates, maybe I should shift over to offense. I've got skills. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I always find myself cheering for them after they intercept it. Unfortunately here, he couldn't make it into the end zone.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The Seahawks on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
They'll run for it. It's Walker, and he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And it'll be a turnover on downs. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a third situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Back to throw. Fields. Catch is made here by Irv Smith Jr. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Jordan Brooks charging hard from that linebacker spot, and he drops him for a loss of 11. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Out of the gun, Fields. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Well, up big here in the 4th quarter, up really big. That passing incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points. But they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
The Fields is off, and on comes Cairo Santos for the Chicago field goal. And it bangs off the right upright, no good. But that shouldn't matter a great deal as they still lead by a bundle here. And no mistaking that sound. It reverberated through the whole stadium.
And it's the sound, Brandon, no kicker wants to hear. It looked like he had it on target the whole way, but the upright said,
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll try for the first with Walker. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot has been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him, and after this one's done, you just feel like in the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
On the counter, it's Walker. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. But no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10.
They'll look to throw here. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Jordan Poyer.
And the Bears are going to take possession of the football. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
And they take a knee.
So not just a blowout win for them today, Charles, but a shutout blowout win as well. Clearly just a superior effort on both sides of the ball.
Hey, didn't it feel like you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, and then the defense jumped up and said, hold it, we're getting involved as well. You're exactly right. Big points, both sides contributing, a full team win.
So for Chicago, they keep on rolling 10-0 now to start the year. And they'll be back home next week to take on the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile, for Seattle, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers.
Your best friend hanging out the arm though. Got game like I'm dropping me a console. No, I don't swim, but I give a now flex. While you there looking depressed, feel to get up in your chest. But I soak up my success, getting tokens for your stress. I be making all the checks anytime you see me step on a stage. Acting real soft like my skin coming beige. Gonna step out and with him, girl, you fake. Try to get it out, put you hands on. You ain't dance on. Tell your boyfriend, go and put your pants on. Down. The best friend. She went and did the same thing. I'm really mad, but she won't know. Everything has gotta be cool when we living so cold. Feel it in your bones. You ain't gonna feel it till I'm gone. Caught up in your feelings, now you froze. And everything around you getting cold. The chillers in my bones. Caught up in my feelings, now I'm froze. I don't really feel it till you gone. And everything around me getting I'm gonzo, headed where the homie live, cause it's on though. I was chasing 3 women like I'm Mojo Jojo, so my girl got mad and she my bro. Monica, you're wrong though, that's against a bro code. Headed to his home though, no we living solo. Vertebrae, got this broken to his place. It's chilling in space, from then I say it's evidence. You entertain my loyalty to infiltrate. The only woman that I claim to risk your life to get some strange. All my anger is a pain, you didn't know that I'm a saint. I will blow your up, then I again.